Welcome to Rewire Yourself Rich, the podcast for the woman who's done with temporary bullshit mindset shifts and ready for a full nervous system level identity upgrade. The woman who knows she was born to transform the world with her unique superpowers. I'm your host, Kelly Pender, wealth identity rewiring expert, intuitive mentor, and creator of the Rich Coded Method. In our world, we don't manifest like needy ass bitches. We re-encode the big fucking deal wealthy woman back into yourselves. We shift your DNA to remember who the fuck you are. Ready to become rich coded, getting paid to exist? Let's fucking go.
If you're done with operating as the good girl and ready to be bold, savage, and audacious in your leadership, you're gonna wanna tune into this. That's exactly what Amber did by encoding a new identity and installing the value codes. And I'm so excited to bring Amber on here so she can share with you the internal shifts that she made to go from good girl to savage. So she's going to be joining us in a second. I'm so excited. And Amber is the founder of Success Savage. And she guides women to end their excuses and unleash their confidence. And what we're about to dive into today is what so many women experience. So many of us are unknowingly operating as the good girl, subconsciously, energetically, and in your identity. And what happens is that you are showing up to be perceived a certain way to keep yourself safe. And this appears in your content, this appears in your leadership, and this appears in your programs, in your offerings, and the way that you are pricing. And when left unchecked, and when you are unaware of when you're operating out of your safety identity, you are unknowingly filtering and censoring yourself. And so, like I said, so many women don't even know that they're in their safety identity. And this is what is massively preventing you from being the bold, savage, audacious leader that you are and really leading your multi-million-dollar movement your way, not her way, not like anyone else out there. And we're going to have Amber join us in a second, and she's going to share her story of how she rewired her safety identity, because this was massively capping her income and her visibility. And you're going to learn how you can get out of your safety identity so that you stop capping your income, so that you stop capping your fame and your visibility. While we're waiting for Amber to come on, what I want you to know is that you're here because you desire to make an impact. You're here because you desire to be known with your life-altering body of work. And the main thing that's preventing you from being known, from being seen, from being famous is a fear of rejection. And when we have this fear of rejection, we're allowing our safety identity to lead. We're allowing our safety identity to take over. It takes control of the way that you speak. It takes control of the way that you dress. It takes control of the way that you are creating content, the way that you are showing up in your messaging, like I said, in your pricing, your programs, and in your offerings. And so we have to, and we get to rewire your safety identity so that you can really step into the big fucking deal that you are. Because what I want you to know is that it's safe for you to be seen. And it's safe for you to be rejected. It's safe for you to be disliked. And I said this in one of our recent reels, that you didn't come here to be liked, you came here to lead. I'm going to say that again. You didn't come here to be liked, you came here to lead. And when you know that, and when you allow your nervous system to normalize that it's okay that not everyone likes me, and it's okay if other people judge me or criticize me or don't understand me, because I know who the fuck I am. You know what you stand for, and you know what you stand against. And when you know that, you can hold judgment. You can hold criticism. You can hold being disliked and misunderstood. Okay? Because you know who the fuck you are. And that's what matters. And that's how we're going to get you out of your safety identity and into your big fucking deal wealth identity. What I want you all to do is an assessment and a little audit on yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, am I trying to be perceived a certain way when I'm creating my content, when I'm showing up, when I'm showing up to do an Instagram live, when I'm showing up to do a podcast, when I'm showing up to whatever it may be? Are you trying to be perceived a certain way? Because if you're trying to be perceived a certain way, you're in your safety identity. You're being the good girl. You're trying to be liked. You're trying to be palatable. You're trying to please everyone. And if this goes unchecked, you're going to be blocking yourself from the level of fame, of visibility, of impact that you know that you are fucking meant for. Okay? And so you get to become so aware of, am I trying to be liked? Because when you're trying to be liked, you're trying to prove something. And when we are improving energy, what's happening is, I want you to know, is that we are taught from a logic standpoint and from a marketing standpoint, you need to nail your messaging. You need to make sure that you say these words. Although messaging is wonderful, and although words do matter, the thing is that people feel you before they even hear you. People feel your frequency before they even hear the words out of your mouth, before they even read your message that you typed up in the caption. They feel you first. And so if you're trying to be the good girl, if you're trying to be liked, if you're trying to be palatable, you're improving energy. When people come into your fields, guess what? Proving energy, please pick me energy, it repels them, and it repels money, and it repels fame, and it repels visibility. And so we get to clean that up now. And Amber's coming on now. She just figured out how to join live. Here we go. And she's going to share how she went from good girl to motherfucking success savage.
Hi.
We figured it out.
It works
Here
out.
we go. We just riffed on going from good girl to rewiring your identity, installing the value codes to become success savage. And so now that you're on here live with us, welcome. I would love to hear from you and for you to share with us, what were these internal shifts that you went through to allow yourself to finally get out of that good girl identity that was running the show unknowingly for quite some time?
Yes. So I have always kind of followed the, what society has told us that we need to do. I went to I did well in school. I went to college. I got the degree. Didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. I don't know why they expect 18-year-olds to figure that out. But regardless, then I didn't like what I was doing. Then I went back to school for nursing and then joined the military and got my nursing degree, then became a nurse practitioner. And, I've definitely climbed a lot in those careers, but I still just felt very unfulfilled. I've checked all the boxes. I've done all the things. I did everything you're supposed to do, but I still just kind of felt stuck and stagnant. And, I really have had some things also happen to me in my personal life that were pretty devastating. Mm-hmm. And I could have chose to, let that define me or choose to play victim to that. And every once in a while that would come through, just like everybody does. We're all human. But I just was like, no, I'm not going to let any of this define me. I've got to figure out a way to fulfill what I think I'm supposed to do. I've always felt that I had a bigger message and a lot more to give than just being in healthcare and letting people come in and just want pain medicine or anything thrown at them, and really just sticking a Band-Aid on things and really fixing what's on the inside and stepping into your power. And I since I was able to do that, then I wanted to share that with others on how they can do it, and how there's no need to be stuck in this like victim mentality, and that you get to design your life how you want it.
Yes. Love it. There we go. So when you and I met, we met when we were in a sales strategy program. Mm-hmm. And so you had all the strategy, I had all the strategy. And I remember when you came into Rich Coded, you were like, there's something off. There's something that's like not working. And I remember being like, well, it was right when I first spoke with you. I'm like, oh, I love the way that you speak. I love the way that you're talking to me, right? Like, you're a bad bitch. You're a savage. You're saying things. And I'm like, I'm not seeing this in your content. I'm not seeing this in the way that you're showing up online. But I am vibing with you, and I'm feeling this savage Amber self behind the scenes. And so this happens with so many of us, where in real life and in spaces where we feel safe and comfortable, we are our full, authentic, unapologetic selves. Yeah. And a lot of us don't know how to transfer ourselves online, right? In the way that we're showing up and leading. And like I was saying before you hopped on live, if we're not aware of where we're operating out of our safety identity, that leaks into your content, your messaging, your programs, your offerings, your pricing. And so I'd love to hear from you how you, even though you had all the strategy, you allowed yourself to take who you are from behind the scenes in real life and finally let the success savage be unleashed online.
Yeah, so I had started kind of in the online space. What really got me involved into this was a direct sales position, and I still do that. I love it. It's a great position and organization that I'm with. And however, there's they were guiding you on training and stuff and how to market. And so they kind of had strategy too. But again, they're not telling us how to do it per se, but you just think that you need to fit into their mold. And so that's kind of what started, me with all these rules per se, even though they've never said the rules, it just kind of felt like an unspoken rule. Yep. So that's kind of what started. And then, so I just kind of felt like I needed to, just fit into the online model that everybody else kind of does. And it just, like you said, I felt like it wasn't authentic. I felt like it wasn't me. And I've always, again, like I said, felt like I had a bigger purpose. And I was like, I just don't know how to get it out there. I just don't know how. So then, meeting you, and that's exactly what happened. Like, I listened to the container that we were in, and she had mentioned your podcast, or she had you on her podcast actually. Mm-hmm. And I loved your energy. I'm like, this girl is like somebody I just want to like go have a beer with. Like, she's great. So I just I vibe with her. She gets it. She's no BS. And that's how I feel. Like I love people, but I can tell when you're kind of giving me some BS, even if I was giving myself some BS there. I needed to call myself on it. Yeah. And just love it. So I kind of lost my train of thought there talking about that. But yeah, I just knew there was something different. And so whenever I found you and you helped me pull out this okay, why am I so scared? I'm just doing this good girl persona, and that's what we kind of came out of. I think, what was it, Kimberly? That was the good girl that we. Sorry to all the Kims out there. I don't know why that name popped into my head that day, but I still crack up about that.
Kimberly was your good girl. And just to give some context, so this is really important for everyone to know, is that whenever you're facing this battle of, I know who I am in real life, but I'm not unleashing her online, right? We have this push pull. We have this like fight going on of two different versions of ourselves who live inside this one body. And so you had a version of yourself, Kimberly, who was like, shh, play it safe, follow the rules, do it her way, follow her success strategy.
Mhm.
And then you had your other side of you, who's you, which is a success savage. And so they were butting heads, and we cleared that out so that you could fully bring forward and online who the fuck you are. If we don't clear that out, that's going to be stuck in our bodies. And this is why so many women are like, when I show up online, I'm like, what do I post? What do I say? And it's like, you know exactly what the fuck you want to say, but it's that part of you, the good girl, who's taking over to be perceived a certain way. And then the behavior of that identity is, I don't know what to say. And I know for you, you got out of that, and it was no longer, what do I need to say so that people buy? And it was more of, I know that I came here to make an impact. And this is what I want to hear from you, of how you were able to get out of your head and into your body to really unleash your savage self online.
Yeah. I think you just experiment with it and you try it. Like, instead of, coming online and writing out something and then backspacing it and deleting it and like, no, I can't say that sort of thing. And then actually just fucking going for it and just posting it and seeing how you do, and then seeing the reactions that you get from that. And that is your authentic self, and authenticity wins in the online space for sure, definitely, and also in real world. And you know what? If people don't like you, they don't pay your bills. So bless and release them. But yeah, I think just honestly going for it. I have done some really scary things being in the military and even in healthcare, some really scary situations, and those that kind of hem-haw around and don't take action and aren't decisive are the ones that end up falling behind or not getting where they need to be. And so I think I think just finally just having the encouragement from you as a coach, and then everybody else in our community too, in Rich Coded, just get out there and just actually fucking go for it, and seeing the reaction to that and how positive it is. I think that's eventually what really snapped me out of it. And then also too, just taking my own advice. Like, I talk to my friends or my boyfriend or anybody, and when they're giving me their BS excuses, I'm like, shut up. That's an excuse. It's an excuse. And then it's like, wait, Amber, you're doing the same thing. So you should take your own advice.
Yes. Yes. And this is exactly what I was saying. If your safety identity is left unchecked, you're going to self-sabotage with those excuses. You're going to self-sabotage with taking that next step that scares the fuck out of you, but you know that that's the next action and next move you need to take to collapse timelines, to bring in what you want and to actually create the reality that you want. And so you've been making bold ass moves. You've been taking big action. And I'm so excited because I've seen such a huge shift, obviously internally, since, got into your subconscious mind and energy. I saw that shift within you, but also I see it translated externally. And I see how you're showing up as a leader, and I see how you're creating content, and I see how you are just allowing yourself to really take up space and to make the impacts that you came here to make, being known, famous, in the spotlight. And I'm so fucking excited because now you're going to be taking stage at Rich Coded Live on April 25th in Philadelphia. And I would love to hear what you will be activating, guiding us through. Just a little taste, just a little teaser.
Yeah. So I will be guiding you through my Success Savage method. So this is, again, where we kind of just, you take ownership and you identify your BS, and then you kind of map out where you want to be and your goals. And then I help you step into that power.
Yes. I'm so excited. And this is the language that you were using behind the scenes where you're like, that's an excuse. That's bullshit. And I'm like, it, because excuses aren't sexy. Confidence is. And that's exactly what you're going to be leading women through and taking the stage at Rich Coded Live. And I'm just so excited and so honored to have you there. And for those who are feeling called to join, this is for the woman who knows that she's meant to be famous. She knows that she's meant to make a massive impact. She knows that she's meant for more and ready to sell her 5-figure fame offers on repeat through identity, because you already have the motherfucking strategy. And so you can DM either Amber or I the word ticket, and we'll send you details and your ticket to join and access. This is going to be incredible. Thank you so much for joining us, Amber. I love you, and I can't wait to see you take the stage.
Thanks. I'm super excited. And I, again, thought that this wasn't for me. This was a future for the future me. And again, when you had presented the opportunity, I could have made a BS excuse. I could have said, no, I'm not ready. But no, that's a bullshit excuse. And you gotta dive in, y'all.
Yep. That right there is leadership. That right there is a big, bold ass move. And look at you now. Here she is, taking stage. Success Savage. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful night, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
If you loved this episode as much as I did, please take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram so I can share you and your incredible body of work to my network and celebrate you. And as a special abundance gift, please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Take a screenshot, send it to me on Instagram, and I'll send you my sexy sales hypnosis to rewire yourself rich in your sleep.